Hi everyone, welcome to TESPERT India. So this is the first session of averages. So in this session we will delve into the concept of average. We'll solve basic problems and lots of different problems, different models in averages, right? So let's go to the definition of average. So what's the basic definition of average? Now don't tell me the definition as the sum of quantities by sum of observations by total number of observations. Now don't tell me like this because we already know that. How to redefine the definition of average? Obviously you know that, just think about it. So we can say that the average of any two or more quantities, right? So that average lies between the lowest and the highest values of the given data. So we will take an example here. And the second property of averages is if each quantity is increased by a certain value. Let's say if each quantity increased by k, then the new average is also increased by k. We'll take an example, right? So that you will understand better. Let's say A, B, C, D, and E are the 5 sports shops in a market which has 20, 30, 60, 80, and 50 cricket bats with them respectively. And the average number of cricket bats in each shop is. So we have 5 sports shops. We have A, B, C, D, E, and A has 20, B has 30 cricket bats, C has 60 cricket bats, D has 80, and E has 50 cricket bats respectively. What are we asked? We are asked to find out the average of number of bats, cricket bats in each shop, right? So what is the basic definition of average? Average is sum of the observations by total number of observations. Here what is the sum of the observations? 20 plus 20 plus 30 plus 60 plus 80 plus 50 by what is the total? How many are there? How many observations are there? 1 2 3 4 5 divided by 5. So if you calculate, you will get the average as 48. Now what does this 48 mean? This is the average number of cricket bats that each shop has, right? So it doesn't mean in reality each shop has 48 bats. If we consider the case of A, right, in reality A has 20 bats, but the average is 48. In reality the number of bats in which D has is 80, but what's the average? 48 bats, right? If we consider property number 2, if each quantity is increased by a certain value k, then the new average is increased by k. Okay, before looking into this, let's consider this. Here what is the minimum lowest value? So here what is the least value? 20 is the least value, and what is the highest value? 80 is the highest value, right? And what is the average? 48. So if you consider statement number 1, property number 1, the average of any two or more quantities definitely lies between the lowest and the highest values of the given data, right? So here 20 is the least value, 80 is the greatest value, right? And the average is 48. So it lies in between 20 and 80. Consider the second property. If each quantity is increased by a certain value k, then the new average is increased by k. What does this mean? Here we have 20, 30, 60, 80 and 50, right? So in the previous example, if each of A, B, C, D and E have imported 12 new bats, then the average of cricket bats is, so here 20, in case 1 we have 20, but now A imported 12 bats, 12 new bats. B also imported 12, and each and every shop imported 12 bats. Now what happens to this average? Well, this average will also be increased by 12. You can solve this. You can solve if you want to prove this. Okay, so 20 plus 12 and 30 plus 12. So add everything divided by 5. You will get average as 60. You will get average as 60. So if the each quantity is increased by a certain value, so the value must be same. If the value is same, then the how much quantity we are adding, that much quantity will also be added to the old average, so that new average will be formed. So the average number of shirts with Rahul, Ritesh and Mahesh is 60. If all of them reached a shopping mall and purchased 6 shirts each of them, then the average number of shirts each of them now has. So what was the world average? World average was 60. Why? Because average number of shirts with these 3 guys is 60. So each of them has 60. we assume that Rahul, Ritesh and Mahesh. So these three have average number of t-shirts 60. So Rahul has 60 shirts, Ritesh has 60 and Mahesh has 60 shirts. So the average is 60, right? Now all of them reached a shopping mall and purchased 6 shirts each of them. So Rahul purchased more 6 more shirts, Ritesh, and same goes with Mahesh. Now what happens to this old average? This old average also increases by 6. Why? The each and every value is increased with 6. As the number is same in all the cases, the average will also be changed with the same number, right? So the new average is 66. The next property of average: if each quantity is decreased by a certain value k, then the new average is also decreased by k. So till now we discussed, if a quantity is increased by k, then the new average will also be increased by k. In this case, if a quantity is decreased by a certain value k, then the new average is also decreased by k. So take this example. Last year, A, B, C and D, right? A, B, C and Birla. Okay, so 4 persons each has 250 industries. This year, everyone has sold out 10 industries due to the recession of the economy and poor turnout. The average number of industries which each of them now has. So we have 4 industrialists. So each industrialist has 250 industries. So 250 industries. So if 4 industrialists have 250 as an average, then what's the average? So each one is having 250 industries, right? So the average will also be 250. So 250 is the average. Now what happened? This year everyone has sold out 10 industries due to the recession. Okay, whatever might be the reason, they sold 10 industries each. So A sold 10 industries, B, C and Birla. So these 4 sold 10 industries each. As all 4 sold 10 industries, so the average number of industries that all these industrialists sold is 10. Now 250 minus 10 will be equal to 240. If each quantity is decreased by a certain value, now each and every quantity is decreased by this value, right? So 10, 10, 10 and 10. Then the new average is also decreased by 10. So new average will also decreased by 10. Hope you understood. If each quantity is divided by a certain quantity k, then the new average becomes 1 by k times the initial average, where k is not equal to 0. So the average of 100, 200, 300, 400 till 1000 is 550, right? So 100 plus 200 plus 300 plus 400 plus 500 till 1000. So how many are there? How many numbers? Total 10, right? If we keep on adding 100 till 1000, so total number will be 10. So this average is 550, right? This one is 550. Now what happened is, if each number is divided by 5, then the new average will be. So if each number is divided by 5, then the average will also be divided. It will also be divided by 5. So the new average is 110. So in previous case, we discussed that if each and every quantity is increased by any value, then the average will also be increased by the same value. If each and every quantity is decreased by same value, then the average will also be decreased by same value. So in this case, the each and every quantity is divided by 5, so the average will also be divided by 5. Understood? The surplus above the average is always equal to the net deficit below the average. So the surplus above the average is always equal to the net deficit of below the average. The surplus above the average is always equal to the net deficit below the average. Let's take this example. The average of 6 numbers, 13. Okay, what is the average of 6 numbers here? 13 plus 17 plus 25 plus 11 plus 26 plus 10 divided by 6. What is the average here? Concept of weighted average. So what does weighted average mean? See, when we calculate the average of different groups, so instead of individuals, if we calculate the average of different groups having different number of elements, then that one is considered to be weighted average. We will consider this example, then you will be clear about weighted average. See, the average of 10 employees of Star Plus is 18. The average salary of 10 employees of Star Plus is 18,000 per month, and 15 employees of NDTV is 16,000 per month. The average salary of all the 27 employees is. Here, what do we observe here is 12 employees are getting 18,000 per month, whereas 15 employees are getting 16,000 per month, right? So the value is not same, the value varies. Here 18,000, here 16,000. So what is the average salary of these 27 employees? What is the average salary? Now what do we do is we multiply these two, right? So 12 employees are getting 18,000 plus 15 employees are getting 16,000 per month by total number of employees, 12 plus 15. So calculate this, you'll get 16,888 as the average of all the 27 employees. Why this is known as weighted average is we're calculating the average for different quantities, different groups, average of groups instead of individuals with different number of elements. Here we have 12 elements, here we have 15 elements, and 12, this salary is also different, right? It's not same. So whenever we are calculating like this is not a weighted average, and we are multiplying these the values. So what is meant by weighted average? Weighted average is the sum of weighted terms, right? It's the sum of, so weighted average is the sum of the weighted terms. In this case, what is these weighted terms? So what does a weighted term mean? If we multiply these, see, this is one weighted term and this is one more weighted term, and divided by the total number of terms. In the first case, the total number of employees terms is 12, and second case it's 15, so 12 plus 15. So this is how we calculate weighted average for any problem, any case, right? Problems based on income, salary, right? So we know the basic formula, which is income basic relation, which is income is equal to expenditure plus savings, right? So how to use this if the average, if the problem is based on averages? The average salary of Rajesh, Bahadur and Amir is rupees 8,000 per month. The average expenditure of Rajesh, Bahadur and Amir per month is 5,000. The average savings of all the three persons per month is. So here what is given? The average salary of all these three guys is 8,000 rupees. What does this mean? We assume that the salary of Rajesh is 8,000, salary of Bahadur is 8,000, salary of Amir is 8,000. Okay, so the average is 8,000. The average expenditure of all these three guys is 5,000. So this is the income, this is the expenditure. The average savings of all the three persons per month is, as we know, income minus expenditure is savings, right? Savings is equal to income minus expenditure. We know income, we know expenditure. So income is 8,000, average income, right? Average expenditure is 5,000. So the average saving is 3,000. See, this is we are taking average income, expenditure also we are taking average expenditure. So we get average savings, right? Average, everything is average. Average saving is 3,000. Problems based on time, speed and distance. We know the basic formula, general formula of the relation between time, speed and distance is the average speed is equal to total distance by total time. If we consider the first example, Columbus started his journey from Lucknow to Kolkata, which is 200 kilometers at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour. Then he went to Bangalore, which is 300 kilometers at the same speed of 20 kilometers per hour. Further, he went to Ahmedabad, which is 500 kilometers at the speed of 10 kilometers per hour. The average speed of Columbus is, okay. So as we know this basic formula, average speed is the total distance with total time taken. What is the total distance? 200 kilometers in the first case, 300 in the second case, 500 in the third case, right? So 200 plus 300 plus 500 by, what is the time? Total time Here we have speed. We don't have time. Here we have speed. So how to get time? Well, time is equal to total distance by speed, right? See, time is equal to total distance by speed. So here, what is the total time in the first case? Distance by speed. So distance in first case by speed in first case, which is 40. And second case, distance in second case, which is 300 by distance in the speed in second case, which is 20. Same goes with the third case, 500 by, and the speed in third case is 10. Calculate this, you'll get 100 by 7, that will be equal to 14.2 by 7. What is this? This is average speed, right? 14.2 by 7 kilometer per hour. Okay, you can also convert this, so you'll get a decimal form, right? The average weight of all the 11 players of Indian cricket team is 50 kilos. If the average of first 8 lightest weight players is 49 kilos and that of the six heaviest players is 42 kilos, the average weight of the player which lies in the 6th position in the list of players when all the 11 players are arranged in the order of increasing or decreasing weights. So here what do we have? We have 11 players, right? We have 11 players. Let's say the players are A, B, C, D. So these are the 11 players, right? And what is given? If the average of first 6 lightest weight players is 49. So the average of the first 6 lightest players, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So from A to F, this first 6 lightest players, the average is 49 kilos, whereas that of the 6 heaviest players is 52 kilos. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So from F to K, the average weight is 52 kilos. What is common? F is common in both the cases, right? From A to F, the average weight is 49 kilos. From F to K, or from K to F, the average weight is 52 kilos. Then the average weight of the player which lies in the 6th position in the list of players. So who is in the 6th position? We must find the average weight of that person. So here, if the average weight of these 6 persons is 49 kilos, what is the total weight? Total weight is 49 into 6, that is equal to 294. Did you understand this? See, if I say the average of the average number of chocolates that 3 persons ABC have is 3. The average number of chocolates that ABC are 3 persons, so the average number of chocolates that ABC have is 3. Then what is the total number of chocolates that all these persons have? 3 into number of persons, 3, right? So average into 3, which is equal to 9. So 9 is the total number of chocolates that 3 persons have. Average is 3. When average is multiplied by the total number of candidates, then we will get the total number. In this case, the average is 49. We are multiplying with the total number of candidates, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candidates. So the total weight is 249. In this case, what is the total weight? 52 into how many candidates are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. So the total weight here is 312. And we are also given the average weight of all the 11 players is 50. So all the 11 players average weight is 50. Then total weight is 50 into 11, that is equal to 550, right? So in order to calculate the average weight of the 6th person, right, who is repeated 2 times, we can directly subtract total minus this weight and this weight, which means 550 minus 312 and 294, that is equal to 56 kilos. So the average weight of the 6th person, that is F, is 56 kilos. The average presence of students in a class on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is 30, and on the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday is 28, and then the number of students who attended the class on Wednesday is if the average number of students on all the 6 days is 27, right? So we have Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, plus in the second case Wednesday till Saturday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. So in these 3 days, how many students? What's the average presence of students? 30, right? So 30 into number of days, 3. And in second case, 28 is the average into number of days, 4. This will be equal to 90 and this is equal to 112. And the average number of students on all the 6 days is, so in all the 6 days, the average number of students is 27. So this is equal to 27 into 6, 162. What are we asked? We are asked to find out the number of students who attended the class on Wednesday. So in both the cases, Wednesday is common, right? So subtract 162, and what's this? The total 202, right? 20, this is equal to 202, and this is 162. So if we subtract, we get 40. This is the average number of students who attended on Wednesday. So the same method that we followed to the previous problem, right? The average temperature on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is 38 degrees. The average temperature on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is 43 degrees, and the average temperature on Monday and Thursday is 18.5 degrees Celsius. The average temperature on Monday is, so we have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in the first case, but what's the average here? 38. And for how many days? For 3 days, right? So the total temperature is 114 degrees Celsius, right? And in second case, we have Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, right? Average is 43 degrees Celsius, and for 3 days, right? So these are 3 days. What is the total temperature? Total temperature is 129 degrees Celsius. We are asked to find out the average temperature on Monday, and it is also given that the average temperature on Monday and Thursday is 18.5 degrees. So Monday plus Thursday is 18.5 into how many days? This is the average of both the days, and for how many days? 2 days, right? So 18.5 into 2, that's equal to 37. For 9 innings, Bowman has an average of 75 runs. In the 10th innings, he scores 100 runs, thus increasing his average. His new average is, okay, so 9 innings he played, 9 innings. For 9 innings, Bowman has the average of 75 runs. So all these 9 innings, his average is 75 runs. In the 10th innings, what happened? He scored 100 runs, thus increasing his average. Okay, see, if in 9 innings he scored the average, if the average is 75 runs, and suddenly in 10th innings, if it becomes more than 75, then the average will also get increased, right? So we have to find the average of the new one, right? So the total score for 9 innings is, what is the total score? 75 runs, that is average into number of innings, 9, which is equal to 675. And what about the total score after 10th innings? 675 plus, what is the score in 10th innings? 100, right? So the total score till 10th innings is 775. So calculate the average. 775 is the total score by total innings, which is 775 by 10, that is equal to 77.5. This is the total average, new average. So the average of 5 terms is 50. If the first 4 terms are 45, 42, 119, and 84, what will be the last term? Okay, so the average of 5 terms, A, B, C, D, E. Okay, 5 terms is 50. And first 4 terms are given. First term is 45, second is 42, 119, 84. Okay. What is the last term? So what is the sum of total terms? Average already given 50, right? So sum of, what is the sum? 50 into, that is average into total number of quantities, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 50 into 5, that is 250. We know the sum of the 4 terms, 45 plus 42 plus 119 plus 84, that is equal to 290. This is the total sum of 4 terms. So what is the fifth term now? Fifth term is 290 minus 250, that is equal to minus 40, right? If the average number of 8 terms is given to be 40 and the average of first 6 terms is given to be 35, what is the average of remaining 2 terms? So what is given? Average number of 8 terms is 40. So what is the total number? Sum of the 8 terms, it's 40 into 8, right? Average into number of terms, that is equal to 220. And what is the sum of first 6 terms? Here the average is given. First the average of first 6 terms is 35. So what is the sum? Average into total number of terms, which is 6. So 35 into 6, 210. Now the sum of remaining terms. What is the sum of remaining terms? How can we know that? If we subtract these two, 320 and 210, it will be 110. So this is the sum of the remaining terms, and we can calculate now the average. The average of the 2 terms will be 110, and as the terms are 2, 110 by 2, which is 55. The average of a class of 22 students is 21 years. The average increased by 1 when the teacher's age also included. What is the age of the teacher? So in the first case, we have 22 students and the average is 21 years. So the total age is number of students into average, right? So 22 into 21 will be 462 years. But in second case, what happened? One more person was added, right? because the teacher got added, right? So the total number of total persons will be 23, and the average also increased by 1. So this one also increased by 1, so 22. So the total number of years is 506 years, right? So just calculate 506 minus 462. This will be equal to 44. So this is the age of the teacher, right? So a family consists of 2 grandparents, 2 parents, and 3 grandchildren. The average age of grandparents is 67 years. The average age of parents is 35 years, and the average age of grandchildren is 6 years. What's the average age of the family? So here we have 67 years as the average for the two parents, right? 2 grandparents. So what is the total age? Total age of the grandparents is 67 into 2 plus what's the average age of the parents? 35, right? 35 into how many are there? 2 parents plus what's the average age of grandchildren? 6 years into how many are there? 3 grandchildren into 3, right? By how many are there? How many total number of persons? 2 plus 2 plus 3. So calculate this. You'll get 31 5 by 7 years. So the average age of the entire family is 31 5 by 7 years. So a train covered first 120 kilometers at a speed of 20 kilometers an hour, and then covered the remaining 180 kilometers at a speed of 45 kilometers an hour. Find its average speed. Okay. So what is the total distance? We know average speed is equal to total distance by total time taken. But let's find out the total distance here. Total distance that the train covered is 120 kilometers and 180 kilometers, right? So 120 plus 180, that is 300 kilometers. And time taken for the train for the first 120 kilometers is, what is the time taken? That is distance by speed. So time taken in first case is distance by speed. So distance is 120 in first case by speed 20 km per hour. So the time taken is 6 hours. And the time taken in the next 120 hours, that is next 180 kilometers in case 2, right? So 180 by this is the distance by what is the speed? 45 km per hour. So the time taken is 4 hours. So what is the total time here? 6 plus 4, that is equal to 10 hours, right? So we are asked to find out the average speed. So we have total distance, we have a total time. So average speed is equal to total distance, which is 300 by total time, that is 10, that is equal to 30 km per hour. See, we are asked to find out the average speed. We have total distance, okay. So but we have to find out the total time. In order to find out total time, what is the formula for finding out? Distance by speed. Distance is given, speed is given. We found out the time required, time taken in both the cases. After getting the time, total time, we found out the speed, which is equal to distance by time. So this is distance, this is time, we divided and we got this. So thank you so much. In the upcoming videos we will solve level 1, level 2 questions, and the handouts which are going to be given for you, so practice those handouts. After this we will also be delving into previous year CAT questions. Hope this session is helpful to you. Thank you so much.